I'm going to just spend a second or two to forward this with any luck to all my other people around the world. Um, but actually, I don't know how to do that. Okay, never mind. I am so happy to be here this evening. As you can tell, it's my first really live video, and I have a lot of things that I really would like to share with you today. The first one is that I'm going to do this every Wednesday. I have found that with COVID, I really want to talk and share with you all more often than just with posts. So, what I'd really like you to do is to send me questions so that I can answer them next week and maybe before. There's another version of Conversations with Ginger Gilmour I'll be doing, and your questions will be really important. What would be lovely is if you would send me a little audio of your question so then I could put your voice onto it so it feels a bit more like you're really there. If you could send that to inquiries@gingerart.net, that would be great. Another point of business I need to ask you is I would really like to create like a wallpaper with your headshots, and I need your permission to do that. So if you could send me a thumbnail to the same address, inquiries@gingerart.net, I'd really love to do that. I need your permission, as I said. So, two more things, and that's I have art classes that you can go onto Patreon and subscribe to that. There are 5 lessons, and they're the basic principles of the teachings of Cecil Collins that I went through for many years, and it opened my creativity. It helped with the art of living and having a perspective even within struggle, so that you know that inside there's always a place of calm. It's a matter of how you identify with what's going on outside, which actually isn't what's going on inside if you don't let it be there. So, one more thing. I am doing audios of excerpts of my book, Memoirs of the Bright Side of the Moon. I know that you all respond very well when I put them in as a post. So I decided that it might be fun to share an audio and some extra images and some extra stories that isn't in the book. So again, you have to go to Inquiries at Ginger Art and sign up. My team will fill you in on all those things. So I'm just wondering, do you have any questions for me now? Otherwise, maybe I'll just tell you a little story about the painting of, not that one, but that one. That's a portrait of Durga, who, as you know, sang for the Floyd and has a very special voice. We were in Italy together for a celebration of Rick's birthday 2 years ago, when she asked me if I would paint a portrait for her, which I've done. I've also done one of Lorelei. They're two of my favorite people, and their voices just transcend all the troubles of the world. They have a new album out called The Black Floyd, and I highly recommend you going and finding that. I'm just thinking that maybe No questions yet. Hi, Richard. And Milana, is that how you put John from Central PA, USA. We've got Norway and Brazil, Italy, and ciao, Francesco, Dominique. Hi, Ginger from Italy. Hi from Scotland. I love Scotland. Hi, Verpy. Beautiful painting. Love that painting. Who was the shyest member of the group? Well, that's a good question. I came over with David in 1971 and had many years of being in the recording studio and us spending time together, all together. And what I observed was that each one, as a person, had a very special quality. Roger was more of the spokesman. Nick held the rhythm together, um, like the fabric in some ways. And David and Rick were more metaphysical, though they probably wouldn't use that word. But they held the feeling tone in the silence more. Even like when you listen to music, there's always a space between every note, and that's the silence that sounds. And it was all of them together that created the music. Even though Roger might have written the lyrics, it was still all of them that made a metaphysical experience. My art teacher always said that a great piece of art is actually a mastery, a technique, but a masterpiece is a gift from God. And I really think that what artists, when they really touch that space, create something that's so archetypically relatable for all of us. It speaks to our heart, and that's what their music does. And I think the reason why it does is because they all were one in that space when they went into the grid. Yeah, there were a few arguments here or there and frustrations coming to that metaphysical joining that made their music. I seek to do that in my art. And a lot of people say they touch their own creative power. And that's what my art classes are about, how to open up your creative power in whatever way your soul has to manifest being here on the planet. So, we've got someone from Moscow as well. That's a first for me. Hi. Billy Thurston. That's my cousin. I haven't spoken to you in ages. Hi, Tim. Hi, Piet. Scott Page. I love you. He's our saxophone player. Thank you so much for being here. And Lorraine from Pennsylvania, Belgium, Redwood Valley. Goodness, how are you with all the fires? Then we've got Poland and New York, Jocelyn, Birmingham. Hi, Sarah. Isabel. Hi, Julia. From Liverpool, she is. And Vince. How and where do you get inspiration for your art? Verpy wants to know. Well, Verpy, it comes to me that the way that I was trained with Cecil is how to listen and follow it. It isn't always, I don't have a mental concept about what's going to show up on the canvas. It's it's a gosh, how can I put this? It just comes. I want to be a messenger. I don't want my personality necessarily to run the ship. I would like for it to be what is born so that humanity is touched to remember the beauty that we are that wonderful goodness that comes in every one of us. And quite frankly, we have a choice. We can just be a bit of the creation and run around, or we can be creators. We can create our life. And I really believe that. We have such a power in ourselves to create our world, and humanity needs to get shifted. I really think COVID is about that. It's made us go inside and look and change our priorities. I mean, how many of you see that there's not so much pollution? I know some people have told me, gosh, I can see the mountains again. And some of the sweetest things is that suddenly the animals are coming out from the woods and sitting in our gardens, which some people might not like them eating their tulips and things like that. But it is an indication that things can change and we need to work on it. All of us need to work on it. So I hope that answers your question, Verpy. And I'm sure we'll talk again on Matthew's site from time to time too. So Georgia, USA, and Brighton. Where is? Oh, Andy. I was starting to figure out where the people were on that. Hi, Bay. Tim says, did David write any songs with you in mind or about you? Um, I think you might have to ask him. He's very shy about these things. I remember we were on an airplane once talking about love and putting it into your music. And he said, "Oh, I can't talk about that." I personally think that he does in the silence, in his when he plays the guitar. He has such a huge heart. Carl Jung has a book called The Art of Creativity, and it says in there that often some people who can only express in the music, they can't express chatting about it or even necessarily writing about it. And I think David expresses through the notes. And it certainly touched my heart. And we had music without music, if you can understand what that is. I'm very blessed to have had that part in my life. Now, life is the music for me in my heart. Maybe someday there'll be another chap. I don't know. We'll see. So, Neil Broderick, what do you want? My city, Liverpool, was known as the spiritual home of Pink Floyd. Fearless was singing Cop in the background. I've seen you say that on Matthew's site too. And if I remember correctly, you said that there are a lot of Pink Floyd people there that, though a lot of people think Liverpool is the home of the Beatles, but it's, I think if you love Pink Floyd, doesn't matter if you're in Liverpool or where, if you have a collective, then you can share the beauty of that. And if you think Liverpool is the home of Pink Floyd, then that's the way you look at it. And I'm very happy for you. So, have you got any feedback from the Pink Floyd members regarding your book? Well, Verby, I know Nick Mason bought 3 of them. I have sent one to David, but he was very, very busy at the time. It's been 4 years now since I put it out. Roger has said nothing. Nick has said nothing. Um, and in a way, it's my journey. It's my journey I want to share with you as a woman, that there's something about it. I know a lot of rock and roll wives and girlfriends and groupies that have to find themselves within that environment, and I have. So I hope the best for you, Verby. You have a huge heart. Speak to you soon, I'm sure. So, Isabel, I think that art comes through us, not from us. That's how I write. Yes, it's like you. Sorry, my glasses. I need to read, but they're reflecting the lights. Bear with me. They do come through us. That's what I was talking about listening to your soul's intention. They're messages that come to you, what you need to create or what you need to say or what you dance. It's a very special place. Even when I did the dishes or made cleaned the nappies for the kids and their dinners or their little birthday parties and stuff, that's all the same thing. There's a magic to life that we can all live. So I hope that answers your thoughts. So, Danny, hi Ginger, greetings from Holland. I was wondering how the music of Pink Floyd now enters your world, having been a witness of albums coming to life. Which songs in particular always throw you back into a certain moment you remember from that era? All I can say, Danny, is that it's in my blood. I particularly love Echoes. I love Wish You Were Here, um, Great Gig in the Sky. All of money, they all have a moment in my life that they represent. And because I love my life, even the struggles, they represent that. I know that when we separated and they were doing a concert in London, and the kids got me some tickets, I was a bit worried about going because I thought it would just turn up a lot of heartache. But actually, what happened was that I saw my life before me, which I loved. So I don't miss it. It is me. And that's why I'm here to share with you how, even within your idolism or the place you go to when you hear the music, it's actually you that you're touching. And I will reinforce that all the time. So, things are coming fast. Hang on a minute. Verby, here you are again. I agree that we can all be artists and that we are all creative inside. I take photos and write poetry. This is flipping really fast. That's how I usually channel my creativity and try to be kind to everyone. Animals always come to me and small children too. I believe it. Everyone can have that experience. Some are even more that way inclined because your heart's open. And everybody has that within them. We have Pietro from Italy. I'll wait for you for a plate of spaghetti alla carbonara with the Floydian background. I'm vegetarian, but I do eat fish sometimes, and I look forward to having that too. I think I was an Italian in a past life, the way I love pasta. So, um, Isabel, may I ask if you still get in contact with David from time to time? No, we don't. Except I think we're always in each other's life through our children. And since they grew up and he has his new life and I have mine, and they don't meet at the moment. But in that creative space, I know our souls do. I hope that answers your question. Right. We have Neil saying, yes, I follow Brilliant Matt, and most definitely, and I've just lost you. This is going too fast. I don't know if we can hang on. Just a minute, Neil. Going back, going back. There you go. Yes, I follow the Brilliant Matt, and most definitely he's influenced by the Doors. It's evident in his music. Yeah. And Nick Drake. And I'm so happy because he's finding his own way. And Collages is a fantastic album and is soon available on CD. And his new stuff, I have to say, I think is really spectacular, and I look forward to that CD too. So, Rita, hi Ginger, big hug from Italy, Brescia, if that's pronounced right. Someone, and I can't pronounce your Russian name, but were you in Moscow in 1989 during Pink Floyd tour? No, I was home minding the children. But I hear it was very special. I've always wanted to go to Moscow, and I'd love to go to St. Petersburg, but it hasn't happened yet. So, Jason, hello, Ginger, from the island of Rab in Croatia. What drives your passion? Sorry if you answered this already. I haven't talked about passion, but we all have it. We need it. One of the healers, the elder healers, Lily Comfort, that I taught with, trained with, had healings with, was my life, along with Cecil Collins, my art teacher, said that without passion, it's difficult to become enlightened. So I stopped feeling bad about being passionate. It's just in me, and we need to let it out. Not necessarily the way that we're being told we need to do in a sexual way, but just passionate about that. It's a value in life that you have, and don't numb yourself. Don't become comfortably numb. Live your life the way David played the guitar on that song. So, by the way, that's another favorite song. And that was an amazing experience. There was discussion about the royalties. It's in my book. I was pregnant with our second child, just about to give birth. And we were all in a Japanese restaurant. They had been arguing apparently all day in the studio. And Roger actually wanted to take Comfortably Numb off the album. I'm glad he didn't, because the anxiety, the anger, the difficulties that were in the earlier songs were made archetypal and digestible because Comfortably Numb gave us the way to transmute it, especially when he stood up on the wall. And there was one concert that little Alice was allowed to be on the little ramp that David went up to the wall as an experience with her dad. So, William Thurston, my cousin, I read your book. How did you remember all the details of your life from the beginning in the USA to today? You clearly have excellent recall, down to Pop's holes in his t-shirt. That's true. I remember those too. Uh-huh. Well, to answer your question, I was amazed. It just sort of came flooding in. I think we all have our memories. And I was directed by my inner guide to write the journey of my love, which starts from a young girl wanting Prince Charming, wanting to be a film actress, and then there was Prince Charming. And then life brought a change of that, and God fitted into that now. The mess being a messenger of the highest for humanity, because otherwise, why in the world was he given this gift of art to me? It has a very deep purpose now. Billy, I hope you're doing well, and let's keep in contact. Thank you. Gosh. Bill Hickley, you are as magic as the man on the stage. Women are the life of love, care, and wisdom, and without that love, No true man can stand alone and face the world daily. Thank you, Bill. I have to say, David loved avocados, and I made sure we had plenty of them in the fridge as well. Right. Hi, Becky. Beautiful life memories that music brings. James Breckenridge, thanks for the book. Deanna, gosh, from Michigan, finally caught you live. Well, I'll be here every Wednesday, so I hope to see you again. Tim Lovelace, are you an animal lover? I'd rather live in a world of animals than people. You probably don't know this, but I had 22 cats when I first lived with David. And one day I went to the local little shop to get some bread and milk when Mrs. Little was holding this baby female goat, billy goat. And she said they were going to put it down because they need only nanny goats so you can have milk. Otherwise, billy goats are just a waste of time and money and energy and everything. And I went, oh no. So I called up David. We didn't have mobile phones then. I had to use her phone and said, please, David, can I bring him home? So he said, okay. And actually, he wound up as well sitting in his rocking chair in Woodley, feeding with a goat with a little Johnny Walker bottle we brought back from the airplane with a little nipple on the top. And then Billy was amazing. Little goats are incredible, the way they sort of jump about. But he started eating all the plants. So, and he was in the house. Then we put all the plants up high, and then he jumped on the kitchen table and would eat my plants. So we put him outside. And David's mom and I and our gardener Jock had gone to Chelsea Flower Show, which is an amazing experience. I love flowers as well. And we bought all these tulip bulbs and everything, and they were just coming up, and Billy ate them all. So it was time for him to go out in the field. David had a Shire horse from Whitbread, and there were two girls that boarded their horse in our stables in return for taking care of Vim, pardon me. David didn't want to cut Billy's horns off, so he started to chase the horses and the girls. Last seen running across the field quickly to get into the stable. So we put him on a chain. And then the chain, as he got to the end of it, because he loved the horses, he wanted to play with them, and he'd get his horns stuck in their tails. That was it. We had to find a Billy home, which he did. And he lived happily ever after. So that's our animal story, Tim, and many more. So let's look back what we got here. Thank you for your answer. Good luck, Alexander. Thank you, Alexander. Beg your pardon if I'm not too nosy about your relationship. Hang on. With David comes to the end. The way you talk about him and the time you were together seems that you still love him very much. Yes, I do. But life brought us to a different experience that I've had to accept and make my life special. I had a very close relationship with another man who taught me how to not destroy the love that I had experienced in those 20 years just because we were separated, because we were divorced. I still hold it very special, and I know it's fine to share it. I I love my life too. I love, and I'm going to stay there. I'm not going to let anxiety, the difficulty with the band destroy what's in my heart and what I've lived and what I will live. Love only comes with an open heart. You have to dare to love and to hold love. And thank you for the question. Wow, thank you very much for answering my question, including comfortably numb in that answer. I'm walking a bit taller now. Oh, I'm very happy for you, Jason. Scott Page, what an honor. You are so great. I was totally flashed when I heard you at my first, hang on, at my first concert. He is good, Torsten. This is true. And his long hair, which I don't think he has now, but his saxophone playing is wonderful, and his heart is even extra wonderful. So I'm not sure, where are we? We're at 7:30. We started at 7. So we can go on for a little bit longer if you have a few more questions. Let's see. You like avocados too, Carolyn? Yeah. Okay, we got Julia. Hello from New York City. I have to go and pick up the dog from the vet, but I feel a healing from your energy. Thank you. You're very welcome. Wendy, where are we? You've always been special. Thanks for being so wonderful to my daughters. Wendy, they're going so fast. Thanks for being so wonderful to my daughters, Amanda and Carol, when they were at school with your girls. You're very welcome, Wendy. I remember them. I remember you. Thank you for being here. Rhonda, I love, love, love your book. Knew your mom since I'm a friend of Tony's, and when you wrote about your mom's passing, I cried. Your book is wonderful. That was a very special chapter for me, to acknowledge that, to acknowledge our love and our time together and challenges, I have to say. And when in her last days, which I talk about, she was here sometimes, and sometimes mentally she wasn't. And we had her in a care home. And I went in to see her because I'd come over from England to Florida. And she suddenly patted the bed and said, "Sit down." I was called Charlie at home. "Charlie, sit down. I need to speak to you." Uh-oh, what happened? Sorry, we're having trouble playing this video. Why? No. If you end this video now, you'll be able to choose if you want to save. I don't want to end it. Howdy. We're having trouble playing. I don't know what's going on here. Have we finished? They've messed up. Can I write a message? Apparently, you can hear me, but everything's gone funny. So I'm going to have to end and say thank you. Why does this happen? We're going so well. I have to say goodnight.